Long-term boyfriend doesn't believe in marriage and doesn't think we will be together long-term. We have a child and are about to get a mortgage. People love to bring up high divorce rate, but when you account for variables such as age, education and income, it's actually not that high. Getting a mortgage with someone who isn't assuming you're gonna be their partner in 30 years is a horrible idea. This is very hard. I don't think I could be with someone who isn't committed to forever. He didn't just say he didn't believe in marriage, which is not an uncommon view. He said he didn't believe in loving you in 30 years. Why would you stay with someone who doesn't see a future with you, much less purchase a house together? Entering a financial agreement with someone who is honest and realistic does not sound like a problem. The problem is that you are in a relationship and have a kid with a person who you describe as the complete opposite of what you claim to want in a relationship. Figure out what you want as a partner, and if this is the person for you, and the mortgage decision should probably follow from that. It does kind of sound like he is staying with you because it serves him, but wouldn't be opposed to leaving if a better opportunity were to arise. Brutal honesty is really just a bad excuse for someone who can't be arsed to consider other people's feelings. I really have no tolerance for it anymore. There is a very nice rule that one can apply to anything they express. Is it kind? Is it true? Is it necessary to say? His statement wasn't kind or necessary. Maybe not even true. I don't know the current statistics on breakup rates of unmarried couples with children. It's not a situation where I can just dump him. We are a family unit with a child and otherwise our relationship is fine. But I can't help but feel like I deserve a bit more than this. And I'm not sure if I'm just being a mug. He hasn't ever been the type to be romantic with me, and at times I don't feel very loved. Is he just staying put and using me until our son is grown? Probably not even then, but you chose every bit of this. Why? Also, he is a very realistic person. He isn't romantic and is brutally honest and can be offensive with his words to people at times. And I'm not sure if this was just one of these poor choice of words situations and him just being a realist. No, he's a dick. Reality TV idiots and people who get off on being rude are the only people who try the I'm just being honest crap. Girl, when people tell you who they are, believe them. Why you would continue in this relationship for only 5 years of sunk cost is literally insane. 5 years, 10 years and 30 years will pass anyway. Do you want them to pass in a relationship you don't feel loved in, and that he has flat out told you is not safe? I get you, but I know you can do better than this half-assed dude. Just rent a house. He's clearly renting you. I have read many stories on here, and personally know several women who have spent many years of their lives with men, raising a child or children, buying a house, etc., only to be dumped when he decided he was done. Then the woman is left in a terrible financial and emotional position, and trying to support themselves and the kids and keep a roof over their heads after wasting years of life hoping he would change. You may want to look into sunk cost fallacy. Have the problems from the start of your relationship actually gone away, or are you ignoring a lot of things for the sake of your child and keeping the peace? You shouldn't have to hear it from his mother that he does actually love you. You should be hearing and feeling that from your partner, not just in words, but in all his actions and treatment of you and your child. Is he just a realist who is blunt to people sometimes, or is he actually deliberately mean to people and telling you that he does not want to stay with you? Please don't commit to such a large financial burden if you are not 100% sure and have a plan worked out for if when he leaves. I personally would not fully trust him anymore after that statement. He is basically saying he doesn't see a real, long-term future with you. I'm not saying to leave him, but to just be cautious. Look, normally I wouldn't say marriage is necessary for a family, but he's telling you something more important here. He doesn't expect you two to be together long enough to pay off a 30-year mortgage. It won't matter how long you're together or if you sign a marriage license, he's seeing a future that eventually ends. I wouldn't accept that, and I'd be changing men. I understand considering the worst case scenario, because you need to have contingency plans. Maybe he worded it very badly. Maybe he's committed, but looking at divorce rates and trying to consider all possibilities for the future. Maybe he's scared or sad about the possibility of losing you and voicing that in a bad way. Have a discussion with him. Tell him you're hurt and that you now think he's not committed. See what his reaction is. Don't listen to knee-jerk breakup immediately because you've framed things badly. It's fine to have thoughts of reconsideration, but what you shouldn't do is act on impulse. Think things through, get perspective, get sounding boards, find actionable plans that make sense. Slow down, take a breath. You do have problems you need to address, and they won't just go away by breaking up, as you do have a child together. You do need couples therapy, and your boy needs to feel secure too, not just you. I'm pretty sure both sides are insecure, and yes, the broken families and relationships is causing a lot of doom and gloom. That shit needs to get fixed. Proper therapy, proper exposure to life experiences and couples that are in a better place. You'll need to determine if he's actually an AH or just autistic and needs to be filtered better. That will take time. Some people are really bad at communicating or being honest with themselves. They have trauma and are stubborn. That takes time. You two need couples and individual therapy and/or at the very least exposure to proper relationships where shit works. Make friends with stable couples. If you and your partner is making genuine efforts to do better, then good. If not, then you'll have to figure out what you really want to do. You can actually just dump him and have a realistic co-parenting situation while you find someone that is more compatible with you. Don't fall into the trap of staying in a relationship just because you've sunk 6 years of it with him. You have the rest of your life to live. Getting a mortgage together when you aren't married is not smart. Everything you discuss and agree on needs to be written down in contract. Also, remember that the mortgage doesn't determine who legally owns the property, it's the title that does. So if you decide to go forward with your not smart mortgage plans anyway, make concrete sure that you've secured ownership of that house on the title. And consider hiring a lawyer. I'm not even gonna touch the relationship part. Follow your gut. And regardless of if your gut feeling us right or wrong, build a safety net for yourself and your child. The man who is not full-heartedly committed to being with you for life is not your safety net. I wasn't overly concerned with marriage specifically. I never pressured my husband and we dated for 6 years before he proposed. But there were 2 things I wouldn't have done without getting married. Had kids and buy a house. I'm not religious, they are both for practical financial reasons. Buying a house without marriage can get messy. I guess if you're going to buy the house, see a lawyer. Seeking this type of advice on Reddit is more harmful than helpful ammo. None of us were there, we didn't experience his body language, his slight facial expressions, tone of voice, cadence, etc. Plus, since you felt hurt by the situation, your retelling of it might be flawed. Only you know the guy and was there. You alone know how he is. Our advice at best can't help and at worst can be harmful. Never buy a house with someone you're not married to. You are not protected. You are not really in a position to move ahead with a house until you have a lot of these other things settled. Did you not discuss marriage? The problem here is you have a family, and you're on Reddit. There are no professionals here, just people who want to be. If you want help, go to a professional, not to the worst side of the internet.